tonight to talk a little bit about challenges, and my most significant challenge tonight was getting here. The broken tractor that held me up. But as was said, I'm a dairyman. I'm a lifelong dairyman. My family's been dairying here in Nevada for 98 years continuously, and we've been in Fallon now for the last 4 years. As I look at the agriculture industry, the continuing challenge I see is this competition for natural resources that are out there. As we look, we've got water, land, and the continued urban farm interface problems that we see out in our communities. I think, as been said earlier by some of the other speakers, there's a recognition that's beginning to be developed that if you don't take care of this problem now, if you don't try and foster an ag community, if you don't try and protect it, it's going to go away. It won't be there when you want it. The other thing that I think is the other challenges out there are the volatility. If we look at the last 4 years, we've seen huge swings in feed, fuel, tax burden, healthcare, all kinds of things coming at not just the agricultural industry, but all industries. But in particular, for us in the dairy industry, this volatility in feed, you know, one day corn's $2, it's been $2 for 20 years, and then all of a sudden it's 4, 5, 7, 8 this last year. And what that does to the bottom line when a considerable amount of what you feed, everything that's competing for that ground to be grown in is competing with corn, and all of that rises right along with it. If you're a crop farmer, that's wonderful, especially if you have water to go along with it. If you're somebody that has something that eats, it really hurts you. And we've seen those challenges in the last 4 or 5 years. I want to wander off the topic here for a moment and talk about a speaker that I heard that really challenged me. At our Dairy Farmers of America is our cooperative. That's who's actually building the plant there in Fallon. And at our annual meeting in March, we had an interesting guy. Usually they'll have somebody that's either provocative or interesting. This year it was provocative. I looked at the program, and here's this Jason Clay from the World Wildlife Fund, and I go, okay, this will be different. And I wanted to make sure I heard his talk. And his topic was 9 billion people in 2050, and how are we going to feed them? And he wasn't as far out there as I thought he was going to be. He really focused on sustainability and how do we grow more with what we have. And I think those challenges have already been met in a lot of ways, but that they're not going to stop. If I might, in my definition of sustainability is doing more with less, and the dairy industry has been doing that kind of in spades. In 1945, 25 million cows, 140 billion pounds of milk. Today, 9 million cows produce 200 billion pounds of milk a year in the United States. That's with just 36% of the cows were producing 142% more milk. And all along, what goes with that is it creates half the carbon footprint that we did in 1945. So that's the path to sustainability. We have to drive production, and we've done that in the United States, whether it's been hybrid corn or different source of alfalfa genetics and breeding. And we're going to have those challenges continue to meet us, along with all the other challenges that are out there. Now, let's circle back to the part about the challenge of feeding 9 billion people in 2050. If we do it the same way we're doing it today, it's going to take the equivalent resource draw as 18 billion people today. So we can all see now, how can that math, we're only adding 2 billion people, how can that math be so far off? And trust me, I'll get back to Nevada here in a second. It's because the transformation economically that's been happening in our world, the flattening of economic resources that are out there. Other countries that have never had money, that have never had economic drivers going on in their communities and in their countries and their nations, and the GDP growth that's been out there, these people, the first thing they want to do is improve their diet. And when they improve that diet, it raises the bar with how much resources it takes to do that. And that's where that huge growth in the need for resources is going to come. And we're going to be challenged in agriculture to do that here in this state and all across the country. So we're going to look for more efficient ways to feed that hungry world. And today, Nevada exports a significant portion of the forage production that's here, that's grown here. And what we're talking about doing is taking that feed and converting it to milk. Well, the basic math is 55 pounds of milk makes, or 55 pounds of feed makes 80 pounds of milk, makes 10 pounds of milk powder. And all the economic activity that it takes to get to that 10 pounds of milk powder will happen here in Nevada. And will bring money from offshore, and a lot more than just sending them the feed. And it makes a lot more sense to do it here and ship the milk over there than it does for us to ship the hay over there and have them make the milk there. So I see the resource draw that's going to be here in Nevada is going to, some of that's going to funnel to the dairy industry. You know, Jay Davidson did some work in Fallon about how much hay is exported here in our state and how much new production is going to need to support the dairy industry and the growth that's going to be needed there. And we seem to be well within bounds, easily capable to support the dairy industry and to support the plant that's going up in Fallon. And we need to basically double milk production in northern Nevada in order to support that plant, and there's capability for that plant to double again. And by Jay's figures, we're able to even go that next step. There's a lot of things between here and there. Some of them Doug's brought to fore about the gross proceeds tax and a lot of other things that are out there, challenges that'll be in our road. But for today, we need 2 million pounds a day of milk, and we're at about 1 million pounds, and we need to grow. And we're capable, there's plenty of resources in Nevada to do that and meet the other challenges that are out there. So that's what I have tonight, but I think for the young people that are out there that are looking for a place to go in agriculture, there's going to be places out there. And we're going to have new challenges in front of us about how to use those resources better than we ever have before. And you know, inside our dairy herd, we've got cows right now that will produce 45,000 pounds of milk in a year. And they're doing it in our herd. We average about 28,000. I would tell you that in 10 or 15 years, we're gonna have herds of cows that average over 40,000 pounds of milk. That drive for efficiency is gonna continue to be there. And nobody does it better than U.S. dairy. Thank you.